This is the Synthetic Signal Report for Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026, in the afternoon. Today's analysis examines the release of GPT 5.3 Instant by OpenAI, the leak of the U.S. government iPhone hacking toolkit known as Coruna, and the launch of the M5 Pro and M5 Max processors. We also track the impact of drone strikes on AWS data centers in the Middle East, a critical silent authentication flaw in Google API keys, and a new California law mandating age tracking at the operating system level. In the frontier sectors, we look at Prime Medicine's gene editing trials, the Neuro Hex World Model Coordinate System, and magnetically controlled tri-leg soft robots. OpenAI has officially released GPT 5.3 Instant. This model is a direct update to the previous high-speed reasoning architecture. Technical benchmarks indicate a 27% reduction in hallucinations compared to GPT 4.5. The update focuses on low-latency, high-reliability tasks. It moves away from the moralizing tone observed in earlier releases, opting for a more direct, analytical conversational style. This optimization targets agentic workflows where subtask transition speed is more critical than raw parameter count. Simultaneously, Apple has introduced the MacBook Pro featuring the M5 Pro and M5 Max chips. These processors utilize a new fusion architecture. This design integrates dedicated neural accelerators directly into the compute fabric. The M5 Max version supports up to 512 gigabytes of unified memory as the base configuration for professional models. This hardware update is a response to the massive memory requirements of local, on-device large language models. The integration of these accelerators suggests that Apple is shifting its focus towards supporting complex, multi-agent workflows that do not require constant cloud connectivity. A critical development in mobile security has emerged with the report that the Coruna hacking toolkit is now in the hands of foreign intelligence agencies and criminal groups. Coruna is a sophisticated iPhone hacking suite originally developed for the U.S. government. It contains 5 full exploit chains and 23 individual vulnerabilities. These exploits allow for deep system persistence across multiple generations of the iPhone operating system. Unlike typical malware, Coruna is a modular toolkit. It enables an attacker to bypass hardware-level security boundaries and gain root access to encrypted device data. The availability of this toolkit in the wild suggests that the window for detecting high-level mobile exploits is narrowing. This leak confirms that tools once reserved for national security are now active threats to global consumer privacy. Security teams should treat all mobile device persistence as a high-probability risk, regardless of the update status. Amazon has confirmed that 3 AWS data centers in the United Arab Emirates and 1 in Bahrain have sustained damage from drone strikes. This is an escalation of the physical threats to cloud infrastructure in the Middle East. The strikes cause an extensive outage that continues to affect dozens of cloud services. While fire suppression protocols and emergency power cuts prevented total hardware destruction, the incident highlights a structural vulnerability in centralized cloud regions located in conflict zones. In the logical layer, a major security failure has been identified in how Google API keys authenticate to Gemini. Over 2,800 live Google API keys found on public websites now silently authenticate to high-cost AI resources. One developer reported a billing charge of over $82,000 within 48 hours. Google's initial response described this as intended behavior. This highlights a critical flaw in how cloud providers manage legacy credentials. A key that was once restricted to low-risk services can now be used as a wide-open gateway to expensive generative AI workloads without additional user consent or configuration. California has passed a law that will force age tracking requirements into every operating system by 2027. This mandate requires companies like Apple, Google, and Microsoft to integrate identity verification directly into the core kernel of the device. This is a significant shift in digital sovereignty. It moves the responsibility of age verification from individual websites to the hardware and operating system level. Privacy advocates note that this creates a permanent, hardware-bound link between a physical identity and digital activity. This is an under-the-radar development that will likely set a global standard for how governments regulate access to digital spaces. Prime Medicine is seeking approval for a gene-editing treatment following a successful 2-patient trial. This is a signal from the future for regenerative medicine. The trial utilized prime editing to correct genetic defects at the molecular level without causing unintended double-strand breaks in the DNA. While the patient pool is small, the precision of the results has led the FDA to consider a faster approval track. In robotics, researchers have developed the TMRVLA model. This is a vision-language action system designed for the magnetic control of tri-leg, silicone-based soft robots. These robots are designed for in vivo medical procedures. Their multi-legged design allows for flexible gaits in complex biological environments. This is a breakthrough in bioengineering as it allows for wireless, precise control of therapeutic machines inside the human body. Finally, we track the emergence of Neuro Hex. This is a hexagonal coordinate system designed to create highly efficient world models for adaptive AI. Inspired by the firing structure of grid cells in the human brain, Neuro Hex uses a cubic isometric hexagonal formulation. This provides full 60-degree rotational symmetry. This is a fundamental redesign of how AI agents perceive and navigate physical space, moving away from rigid XY grids toward a more biologically accurate reference frame. The security community is currently monitoring a surge in our DP honeypot scans. Top activity is originating from IP addresses associated with Microsoft and Google hosting services. Analysts are also tracking the Silver Dragon campaign. This is a China-aligned threat group targeting government entities in Southeast Asia and Europe. A new threat known as the Eternum botnet has been identified using the Polygon blockchain for its command and control infrastructure. By using a decentralized blockchain, the botnet increases its resilience against traditional server takedowns. Notable vulnerabilities are also affecting open-source tools. A critical remote code execution flaw exists in the Quick JavaScript framework due to unsafe deserialization. Additionally, a patch bypass in the FreeScout help desk system allows authenticated users to achieve remote code execution. Finally, a vulnerability in the LabCatech ICE detector software allows unauthenticated attackers to alter device parameters on critical infrastructure. This concludes the synthetic signal report.